Hello everybody, I'm Rusty. I want to welcome you to Island Breeze Tropicals. So today we're going to be asking the question, should I trash this bromeliad? So you know what, the sun is shining, the island breeze is blowing, it's time that you and I got growing. Come on, let's have some fun. And why don't we ask the question, should I throw this bromeliad away? So before we get started, if this is your first time here, welcome. I hope you like what you see, and if you do, hit that like button down there. And why don't you become part of our bromeliad family and become a subscriber? Okay, why don't we get to today's video? Okay guys, so today we're going to ask the question, should I throw my bromeliad away if it starts to look like this? That's pretty bad, isn't it? So I'm going to make a compelling argument why maybe we should keep them a little while longer. Now I will admit, boy, this looks pretty bad, doesn't it? Well, remember that it's supposed to. This bromeliad has flowered. It has produced an awful lot of pups. It's just about at the end of its life. But I want to show you how probably you can get one or maybe even two more pups out of your bromeliad that looks like this. Now, again, remember that they're monocarpic. This is how it's supposed to work. Monocarpic means one life, and it means that after they flower and they produce all the offsets that they can, they've used up all of their energy. So maybe today, why don't we take a look and see whether all of that energy has been used up. So I'm going to show you some close-ups, and I'm going to show you what the plants look like when they look bad, how we're going to clean them up a little bit, and let's see if we can get some more pups out of these plants. So okay guys, we have a veritable rogues gallery here, and yeah, they look pretty bad, don't they? These bromeliads are far along in their senescence, in their decline process, and that's normal. You know, like we say all the time, they have one life, and these have already gone through their flowering sequence, and I'm going to show you that they will produce pups even after they look this bad. So I had originally wanted to do this just with one plant, and it just takes too long to do a sequence. They are all Neoregelia Martin or Martine. And I'm going to show you why I think even at this advanced stage of decline, you can save your bromeliad and still get some growth out of it. So I've done a sequence from that to this. And this, you can see that the adults are in progressive stages of decline. Okay, so I'm purposely not going to clean these plants up quite yet. We will, because it'll give you a better idea as to the growth process of the pups. But you may be able to see it down there. I'm going to zoom in for a close-up. But look, as bad as this plant looks, it is producing a pup even now. And this particular Neoregelia has produced numerous pups. But take a look. Here comes another one. Okay, so I guess the question is, how can a bromeliad produce another pup at this advanced stage of what is natural decline? Again, the plant has already flowered and it's already produced a lot of pups, and we still have another one coming. How can that be? Well, the plant has a fair amount of biomass, believe it or not, and that biomass contains carbohydrate. That is the food for the plant. It is the plant's source of energy. Remember, they're an autotroph. They make their own carbohydrate. And even when you see all of these dead leaves in here, there's still a little green left, so it's still producing some amount of carbohydrate, believe it or not. And as long as that leaf is green, and it can store some water down here in the cup, the plant will be able to produce more carbohydrate. But even then, I'm going to show you what can happen if it even gets to be a more advanced state of decline. Okay, so this is plant number 2, and again, I would love to have done the same plant in a long sequence, but it would have taken, gee whiz, probably about a month, and I wanted to show you right away. So take a look at this pup right here, and you can see that this is much bigger. And take a look, it has a deep, healthy green color to it. And yes, the adult really looks ratty, but as you can see in this, there's still green in this plant, and it is still producing carbohydrate, not just from the leaves, but what has been stored in the entire plant, in the stem of the plant, and there is plenty of carbohydrate there in order to initiate a little bit more growth. So let's look at the next plant, and I'm going to show you just how large the pup can actually get to be, even with a declining adult. So I've turned the plant so that you can see just how much decline has happened in this particular Neoregelia Martine. And take a look, there's not much left. Even the green in here, take a look at this green. It doesn't look very robust, and you know what that means? It means that the plant is not sending any more energy into its leaves in order to keep the chloroplasts, and that's where the chlorophyll is, healthy. So you can see, take a look at the difference in the green color between the pup right here, right? And then take a look at this green, and I would say there's a big, big difference. But even at this advanced stage of decline, we still have a pup that is growing out of the base of that plant. And that indicates that there is still a large amount of carbohydrate left in the parent plant. And now this pup right here, this pup is actually now producing photosynthate carbohydrate using the process of photosynthesis on its own, but it's still deriving some amount of energy from this advanced state of decline. And it's getting it from the stored carbohydrate that is in that declining parent plant. So now we come to the final plant, and take a look. There is nothing left of that parent plant. But let's look, and my hand should be able to give it some scale. And now you have a pup that really is just about ready to be on its own. Actually, it is on its own, and you have all of these wonderful solar collectors. Don't forget, that's what a leaf is. And now that particular pup has become a plant that is standalone. I still would not separate it because it's still deriving carbohydrate and energy from what's left in the parent plant stem. But we can clean this up, and I'm going to show you what it looks like when we do that. So okay, this is ready to be cleaned up because this parent plant really is not producing any more carbohydrate. It's pretty much shot. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this out. Sorry guys, I'm reaching around here and I can't see the viewfinder, so I'm taking my chances. And it doesn't have to be exact, and it certainly doesn't have to be pretty, but we're going to clean this up a little bit. And all we're doing is cutting out dead tissue. And I'm going to make another cut right here. And pull some of the weeds. So you can cut this part down as much as you want, but as you can see now, you have a brand new plant and it's not quite as unsightly, and that's why I think that you should not throw away your plant even though it looks like it may be at death's door. Well, okay guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed looking at these basket case bromeliads. You know, you can still get some extra pups just by looking and feeling down in there, see if there's some new growth. Now, not always. A lot of the times your plant will have used every bit of its energy and that's it. But take a look at your plants. Now, I admit these are unsightly and you're not going to display them certainly, but I think if you have an area where you can put them and you don't have to look at them all the time and they still get adequate water, I think that you can get at least one or maybe even two more pups from what looks to be a totally spent bromeliad. So no matter where you are, I hope your sun is shining. I hope you have an island breeze blowing. I know that you and I need to keep growing and have lots of fun. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.